All right, so I got these timing chains on. It was kind of a bitch. Unfortunately, I think I gotta take it all apart again because I'm one tooth off in here where you can only see one dot, whereas in this one you can't really see it, but you can see both. So this one needs to come down one tooth. So I'm gonna see if I can't figure out a way to maneuver that chain without taking it all apart. Took me a good hour just to get it all in there, but I'll check back if I fix it, or I'll be taking it all apart. Alright, so I finally got everything situated as far as I knew. I went ahead and I rotated the engine twice, 2 revolutions rather, like it said in the manufacturer's manual, but everything lines up. This is at the 12 o'clock. This dot here, this bottom dot is at the 6 o'clock position. This V8 mark is at the 12 o'clock position, but this one looks like it's one tooth off. It's just slightly, it's at like 11:59, we'll call it. So I need to redo this and move this one tooth. I might be able to manage to do it without taking all this crap apart. I'm gonna see if I can't pop the sprocket off, move it a tooth, put it back on, then rotate it again and see if I line up. If it works out, we'll check back, and then it looks like the hard part's over. Just be slapping on the front cover, water pump, valve covers, and whatever gaskets I need. I still got to throw the oil pan on, but other than that, it looks like we'll just be bolting stuff on from here on out, and then we'll get to drop this bad boy back in the truck. All right, I'll check back. All right, so I'm back. I was able to basically I just went and got some help, had a helper, and I had them hold the camshaft with 2 channel locks. So it didn't want to move at all when I popped this off. I just took a rubber mallet and just popped the sprocket off, and then just adjusted one tooth, popped it back on, retorqued it down, and then rotated the engine twice, and now all my marks line up. V8's at the 12 o'clock, V8's at the 12 o'clock, dots at the 12, dots at the 6 o'clock. So the timing is done. Rotate the engine and everything sounds good. Rotates nice and smooth. So this thing's pretty much done. I kind of wanted to just spend a little bit of time and talk about the timing, because you can find quite a bit of information or videos about building these engines on the internet, and there's really nobody that kind of explains how they did the timing, because there's like 5 special tools that you need to do this, like whatever this is here, and that, whatever. But basically all I didn't use any special tools to put this on. I looped all the chains on there where the marks are supposed to be. I rubber banded the right and left chains, so they were like a strip, and then the dots you could see through here. And then I took a zip tie, and then I zip tied the chain on this, so everything would be basically in place when I put it on. So I was able to slide this on, slide the crank sprocket on, and then lift the chains up through here, and then they would just rest on either head. And then once I had the chains and the sprockets installed, I basically just took each sprocket up here. I positioned lined up the dot where it was supposed to be, and then took a pair of channel locks and then grabbed, they have like I'm sure it's not for this, but It doesn't touch, this doesn't touch anything. It's not important. I was able to grab this. You can see it kind of got chewed up a little bit, but I was able to grab this with some channel locks and then kind of jimmy the camshaft to pop the sprocket on there. Once I got the sprocket on, put the bolt on, do it to both sides, and you're pretty much good to go. For tightening down the bolt, the sprocket bolt for the camshaft, that's where this special tool comes in. You don't need that crap. I was able to do this by myself. I grabbed, same thing again. I took a pair of channel locks and I grabbed this thing, right? And then I took my torque wrench and then basically just, grabbed one end here and the torque wrench here, and then I pushed down on the torque wrench, and it's got to be 90 foot-pounds, so you're gonna struggle a little bit, but I was able to get it to 90 foot-pounds, no problem, no special tools, nothing rotated or got screwed up. Worked out pretty good. So, I mean, if you're wondering about how to put these timing set together without the special tools, don't worry. It could be done. I probably spent a few hours on doing this because I kind of took my time and made sure I was doing everything right, and it seemed to work out. I had a couple little mishaps with the tooth being off, but just stand back for a second and take a look at it and see what you can do to fix it without taking it all apart and putting it back together again, because that would have not been fun. Also, another thing to make sure, when you pull your pin on here, I just took a cotter pin, and if you're getting a brand new, I'm reusing the tensioners and stuff because they were basically brand new on this engine. When you want to grab it with a pair of channel locks like this, if you're trying to tighten it, you grab it like that, and then you squeeze. And then you line up those two holes, and I mean, that's, again, they want a special tool, but I just took a cotter pin and stuck it through there, and then there's like a hole in the back. Stuck it all the way through, and that seemed to work just fine, held it back. But just make sure when you pull the pin to bring tension back on this, that you don't just pull the pin and let it snap back into place. You'll break this. So grab it with the channel locks, put a little tension on it, pull the pin out, and then slowly let go with the channel locks, and then you'll be all set. Another thing with these, you don't want to pull the little pawl out. You just want to pull the pin that was holding the tensioners back, and then let it go into place, and then don't touch it. When you start the motor, all that stuff's gonna tension up and be the way it should. So I think if you try to tension these or lift them up rather, you'll screw everything up. It'll be too tight and make all kinds of timing chain noise, and you don't want that crap. So let's see what's next. Gonna put the oil pan on, gonna put my front cover on, put the valve covers on, and I'll probably pour some oil down the pickup tube as well, just so I can get a prime on it, and crank the engine a few times. And then tomorrow I'll probably drop this motor in. I'm gonna wait to put the air manifold on until I have it in the vehicle, because there's these bolts back, these bolts back here. It's kind of hard to see because the light's not back here. That bolt and where the engine stand is bolted into it are near impossible to get to if you're trying to hook this up to the bell house with the air manifold on, and that's real easy stuff to do with the engine in the car. So leave your air manifold off. I'm probably going to put some plugs or like some tape over all the fuel injector and spark plug holes until I put those in. I don't want anything falling down in there. Same with the air manifold. I'll probably put some tape over this just to make sure no dirt, debris, bugs, mice, whatever decides to crawl on my engine while I'm sleeping tonight. So yeah, I'm gonna put the rest of the crap on this thing, and we'll check back when it's looking all nice and pretty.